Welcome back, this is Sathvik. I'm Sathvik, I'm a third year medical student from Bond University, and today we're going to be discussing 3 important points that helped me excel in my first semester of medical school exams. If you told me at the beginning of my medical career when I was in high school that I would top my first semester of medical school exams, I would not believe you. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I've done that. So without fluffing around, we'll get straight into it. So first of all, routines are everything for me. So having strict systems to get me through the day is what I highly rely on during my time at university. The reason being, it's highly important to be grounded in what I'm actually trying to achieve in the long run, and in terms, that's basically doing the best that I can. So not only does it ground me having these strict systems in place, but also gives me a layout of what it is that I have to do next, so that I don't get lost and waste time doing things that I don't actually need to do. So in one of my videos called The Day in the Life of a First Year Medical Student, you should have seen that there's specific things that I do during that video, and we'll focus on a little segment of that today. So you would have seen that in the video that I would wake up quite early, around 5:30 in the morning, and as soon as I wake up, I don't go on my phone, I pick up my toiletries and head straight to the bathroom. Now, all these things seem quite superficial, seem quite simple, but we can all attest to the times where we lay in bed, hitting the snooze button when the alarm goes off, or grabbing our phones and picking it up and scrolling through social media. So in order to wake up early, there's a step before that, which is you have to go to bed early so that you can wake up at the desired time. So there's little things along the day that you can do to make sure that you're on time and that your systems aren't broken. So how do I approach these sort of rules, I guess? It sounds very simple, but I just tell myself that I can't break these rules. It's just no two ways about it. You don't give yourself leniency. It's just something that you have to keep consistent with, and something that you can't just break. Cool. The second point is structured around procrastination. Now, we're all human beings. You know, there's multiple times where I put my work off, multiple times throughout the month where I might just stay in bed, hit the snooze alarm, or just procrastinate by being on my phone. So it's really important to acknowledge that you're procrastinating when you're doing it. Everyone knows intuitively that they're doing it at some point, because of the kind of busy days that we do have, and we just want to kick back and relax for a few minutes. The first step is to acknowledge this, and it's normal, and don't beat yourself up for it. The trick is you don't do this for every single time that you have this urge to reach out for your phone. The way that I get around procrastination is telling myself, okay, I'm going to go on my phone, but just after I complete this task, let me just finish up transferring these notes over to my Notion. Let me just finish doing this case. Let me just read this paper, and I'll go on my phone. In that way, you're also having this task completed, but also you're kind of scheduling a time in for procrastination. So that way, in the long run, you don't burn out. And this was a highly crucial step in me topping my examinations. More information, I've already made a video about this in my procrastination video, so check that out if you're interested. So the third most important point is probably the one that you're all waiting for, is how I actually study. Now, just before I delve into that, it's really important that the previous 2 points, which is having set routines and strict systems in place, and procrastination, this would tie in to how well you study and how you actually go about studying as well. So don't neglect those 2 points, which I actually, on purpose put at the front of my video instead of at the end, because we all want to know how medical students study. All right, now let's head straight into it. So it's a very complicated topic for me. I get asked this every sort of week. My answer kind of changes depending on who I'm talking to and what year level they are. But all in all, my study system is based around pre-study, study, and post-study. So Pre-study is having a very, very brief look at the upcoming content of the week. Now, this can include lecture slides, workshops, anything that you have access to. It might be pre-reading a little bit of the textbook if you have access to that. So what this does is it primes the brain to receiving the information. And then you have the study aspect, which I place sort of inside the lecture or the workshop that you're attending, where you have this foundation that you would have built from pre-study, and then in the study, which is the lectures or workshops, you're building on top of this knowledge with more specific details. And then after, you have post-study, which might be the day after, it might be the lecture after if you have nothing else scheduled for the day, where you go over all of the content that you would have gone through in that particular lecture or workshop, and you go over in a way where you're not just rereading the slides or rereading your notes, but you're actually actively recalling what you can remember from that piece of content that you would have gone through in the study. A detailed explanation of what this actually looks like will be in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. But basically it's pre-study, study, and post-study. That is how I structured my study system to top my exams. So there you have it. Those are my top 3 things that I did to come first in my first semester of medical school exams. But this is what I did, and this is what I would recommend if you want to excel in your studies. It doesn't have to be medicine, it can be anything else. But this is how I did it.